Hello, hello, hello. I wanted to do the short video just to look at a pair that I'm looking at for this week. Kind of a continuation. I'm already in the trade with it, but I want to break down a few things with this pair when it comes to support and resistance and trend lines, so we see exactly what's happening with this pair. So we're going to take a look at USDJPY. When I start to break down the chart, and this is any chart, any pair, I always start on the highest time frame. I always start on the monthly time frame, so that I can get a good understanding of where the pair is as far as the trend is concerned, the true trend, and eliminating the noise. So looking at this pair here, from a long-term perspective, we see that it's on a downtrend, and we do this from here and connect from the highest wick and connecting through the body of the candle. So look at this here. That gives us a good idea of what the overall trend is. And then also on the monthly, I look at the extreme highs and extreme lows for the major support and resistance areas. So we mark this section here, 76026, and our high here, this is our extreme high. And then we look at some smaller areas as we move through, but that's our extreme high there. And now what we really look at in the middle of the movement here, of the price movement, is what other areas do we have of support and resistance where price comes back to that area multiple times. And the first area that I see just looking is this area here. We have one touch here, price comes here, bounces back up, and then finally breaks through, comes back and touches, and then it breaks through. Touch here, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 touches of this area. So that's a major area of support and resistance for this range. And another area is about right here. You see we have this area here, then we have a touch here, we have wicks that come through here, a touch here, and it comes back down, and then wicks here. So this is another strong area of support and resistance. And you see prices kind of outside of this breakthrough here, creating a teacup formation over this extended period of time. Now we're back in this range here with the flag being created. So then we take a look at the weekly chart. And on the weekly, we get a better, more in-depth view of the end of this movement and what's happening within this range that's been created. So what we'll then be able to do is find additional areas of support and resistance and some counter trends that may be present. And those counter trends are just small areas where price is going against the major trend for the currency. Excuse me. So now looking here on the weekly chart, we have an opportunity to mark this area here as a counter trend. And see prices kind of moving in an upward fashion here along this trend line, like that. And we're also able to identify additional areas of support and resistance as well. So we'll get our horizontal line, and we'll look here. Prices come to this area, slide this out, come to this area, touched, come back, come back, come back. Also have this area here. As we go back, we'll probably find some additional areas. See, touch, 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 touch. So that's another strong area on the weekly time frame of support and resistance. Then we have another kind of a smaller trend line within the trend, which gives us our downtrend continuation, which is right here. This trend line is going to play some significance as we continue to move down through our 4-hour and 1-hour time frames. So I'll mark that there. And then an area of support is right here. And if you see, we have a long wick. This is recent. 1 week ago, we got a long wick that came and touched this area. Then we have a touch here, and then touches here as well. So this is another good area for us to watch. So we can, the price is going to make some sort of movement at this level. So it's going to play definitely some significance. All right, and then we will move down. And within this Forex game, there's definitely different strategies when it comes to marking of charts and different things to look for. So this is just how I mark up my charts and what I look for on these different time frames. I don't look for head and shoulders patterns and symmetrical triangles and that sort of thing until I get down to the daily time frame. The higher time frames just give me a good idea of what the trend is doing, what the currency is doing as far as the trend goes, and our support and resistance. So now on the daily time frame, we can really dig down and see what price is doing recently in regards to where it's going to go based on that larger trend and some of the smaller trends and the counter trends that we see. So what one of the big things that I see just immediately is what's called a head and shoulders pattern. And you see price right here. This is actually a level for us, level of resistance right here. You see price came and broke through this area here. And it came up and we got a little curve and came back down to touch another area of support and resistance, right? That touches there. So it came back to touch this area. And even need to bring it down here to make more sense. But it came back, touched this area. And then you see price take off to the upside, got to this monthly trend line, and then it came back down. Then we see it come back up again to get to this area of resistance, which will mark that also. Daily resistance here, which you get wicks there, touches here. So what this calls the head and shoulders pattern, we have a left shoulder here, which will mark it, so you can see. There's a left shoulder here. Sorry, 1 second, guys. All right, so we have a left shoulder here. And then we have the head, which is right here. Head right there. And then we have the right shoulder.
Next one, right shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
The
right shoulder right there. All right, so a head and shoulders pattern. And with these patterns, what we will see is, we'll also mark the neckline. What we'll see is once the right shoulder is complete, we will see price continue in a downward fashion. And generally, what that movement is an equidistant movement as the left shoulder. So this movement up here to the neckline, we will get an equal movement for the right shoulder down to about this area here, the 17343. So that's what we would expect. This here is the neckline for this particular pattern. here. Place that right there. We'll be able to dig into this a little bit more when we go to the 4-hour time frame. So we have left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and the neckline. And as I said, we'll see what we expect to see with these types of patterns. We'll see more as we go. Is price to come down to the neckline, and then if price breaks through the neckline, then we'll see a continuation down here to the 17366 or 343 area. Could possibly come down a little lower to 106,945. So that's what we see here just based off of that. Another thing that we do have present, we have price that rejects off of the monthly trend line, and it comes all the way down to this counter trend line that we marked on the weekly time frame. So it comes down, and it bounces back up, and then it comes back down, and then it started this movement up, and now it's on its way back down. What this movement is, and we'll see it a little more on the 4-hour time frame. This is called a bearish symmetrical triangle. And so what we can look to see is for price to break out and move down. Right. So we'll mark this here as an additional counter trend line. We'll mark this area here as another counter trend line. And it really gives us, allows us to see this symmetrical, bearish symmetrical triangle. So here, then up, then it comes back to test this trend line, and it came back up. Now it's coming back to this trend line again. So this is another point of confirmation that once we get price to break, come back to this trend line, we may see price break through this, and as we stated, the continuation break through the trend line, and this also be the continuation of the right shoulder and come down here. And this will be our breakout. So price will break through here. This will be our breakout down to the 107,343 area. So multiple points of confirmation already from the weekly and daily time frames that give us a good indication of what price is doing. And we already marked our support and resistance on this time frame. So what we'll do is we'll go down to the 4-hour, and this is the 4-hour, the 1 hour are where I look for possible entries, as well as possible exits as well, depending on where we are in the market at the time. So as I stated, and we can see here a little bit cleaner, a little bit closer. Right, we have the left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder present here. All right. So now what we look at is where price is currently and what we can expect it to do. So we found another area of support right here where price is kind of stalled. Kind of stalled last week right here. The area of support and resistance, wicks, touches, breakthrough, came back, and it touched again here. So we have price is stalled. So what we will look for now is what price is going to do beginning of next week and through the end of next week. So that's our support line. We have our resistance line there, and this is our counter trend line. And really, that's all we see on this 4-hour time frame. And also a better view of the symmetrical triangle here and what it's doing. We'll go down to the 1-hour time frame, and we'll see some interesting stuff here. So what we have here is when I get down to the 1-hour time frame, I look for engulfing candles in areas that engulfing candles have happened and they have not been filled. And what an engulfing candle is we have an impulsive movement in a direction and a smaller candle just before that impulsive movement. So if you look here, we'll zoom in a little bit. If you look here, we have what's called a doji, and then we have an impulsive movement down. This impulsive movement completely engulfed the previous candle. So this is called an engulfing candle. And these areas are where orders were missed. With these wicks, orders were missed in these areas. So at some point, price is going to come back to clear this area before it continues in the direction of the engulfing candles. So that's what I look for in these areas. And you see this resistance line here is actually a point of one. And with these, we actually, so I'm going to slide this down to the wick. And with these engulfing candles, price can come all the way through the body to the very top of these areas. And as we look here to some more recent times, we see that we also have another engulfing area right here. And this is going to be important going into next week, because what we also have another, we call this a flag. So price came down, broke through this barrier here, came down, and now it's going in an upward fashion here, kind of at an angle. And so what we call this is a flag or retracement. And these are very good indicators that price is going to continue in the direction that it's already going. So we have this here. So we have, this is called a flag. We have a flag there, and we also identify these flags in other areas. So we have a flag here, upward movement from the trend. Flag, and this is also a flag. Right?
Happy Mother's Day.
So flag, price comes down, flag, price comes down, flag. So what we can expect now is at some point, once this flag is finished, price will then continue down. This is another confirmation point of what we already discussed on the daily and the weekly time frames. We have our head and shoulders. We have our counter trend line. We have our bearish symmetrical triangle coming to a point here. Multiple points of confirmation that price is going to continue down. So we are looking for sells in this situation. So with this engulfing area, what we were talking about with the engulfing candles is this. So with this flag being present, I'm expecting, because of the motion that we already have here with price, I'm expecting that this engulfing area is going to be cleared before price continues down. So flag here, engulfing area. So price will clear this engulfing zone and then continues down turn to complete this right shoulder. And so this is kind of what it looks like and what I'm expecting price to do. Continue up here to this area, then give us a downturn like this. And if we move out just a little bit, excuse me, we'll just see the continuation of the flag up to there, and then price will start breaking down. And what we can expect, I believe, because we do have the symmetrical triangle, and also we go back to the 1 hour. We have another, this is just another point of confirmation. We have another symmetrical triangle that developed as well. Go here to here. This is our daily, our 1 hour, 4 hour trend line, right? So if we go to the 4 hour here, right, we have this trend line going like that, right? Wick, highest wick, and move down. So look at it on the 1 hour time frame, and so it looks like this here. We'll move it just so it makes sense. Catching the bodies, like that. So what this does is this. So we have, again, the price comes down, touches the base of the counter trend line. Price comes back up, it comes back down to the counter trend line. Now it's moving back up. And so what this does, this creates an X right here. And I would say X marks the spot. X marks the spot. So price is going to continue up here to this 109.619 area. And then at this X, we're going to see a change. This change. Now, if price does choose to, if the market pushes up, then it'll push up at this area and go back north. Or price gets here, then it will push down, and we'll get this movement back down to the downside, completing the right shoulder and coming down through here. We'll get that breakout. So we'll get what it'll look like. It'll look like this. This is also an area of support. So we'll get this break. So this is the trend line still. So we'll get that breakout. Then we will get a small pullback to test the trend line one more time. Just going to give it this different deal here. So we'll get a pullback to here to test the trend line one last time. And then we'll get this move down here. Go down here to finish the shoulder. And then what we can expect to see is for price then to continue down. This may just be maybe one movement, but price to continue down just like this here. Complete the head and shoulders pattern, break through the neckline, and then fall like crazy. So this is what we're expecting to see on USDJPY. Get down to the 1 hour so you can see it. So if you're looking to get in this pair, I would say look for an entry around the 109.619 area. Excuse me, if you set a sell limit here, you might get a little pullback, 5 or 6 pips, not anything major. So a little drawdown to the top of that zone. And then we expect to see price break out of there, give another test of the trend line, and then fall. So we're looking at a really nice move here for USDJPY. So we'll calculate this for you really quick. We'll go to the daily. We'll go to the 4 hour. We'll calculate this. So we're looking at a short position here at 619. We're looking for price to fall all the way. Price to fall all the way to around the 343, 341 area. So we're looking at, and we can really give us a tight stop here. Always use risk management when taking trades, just to make sure that you're not risking too much of your account. So on a smaller account size, definitely take that into account. Keep your risk management small, 5%. So we're not blowing our account. And we're looking at this move here. So we're looking at about 226 pips, guys. With a risk to reward ratio of 43, 1 to 43, right? So we're risking a small amount of our account for a larger gain. Great opportunity, guys. So take a look at it, check it out, and do your own analysis for sure. But take this into account, and I look to see this move play out over the next probably 2 to 2.5 weeks. So it's a swing trade, but we will take our profits, move our stop loss up as price continues to move. So I'm definitely looking forward to this move, guys. Hope this was valuable information for you on how to break down a chart from the very basics all the way down to some more complex ideas. Leave your comments, give your feedback, and until next time, thanks.